Okay, let's just jump right into it. Have you ever stopped and wondered, what if we didn't have presidents, or parliaments, or any political parties at all? Imagine a world where it's not career politicians making the rules, but code. Sounds pretty wild, right? Well, let's dive in.
So, today we are tackling a really big question. And honestly, it's one that sounds like it was pulled straight out of a sci-fi movie, but it's becoming more real every single day. The question is this: can a brand new type of digital organization, a DAO, actually replace an entire government?
All right, to even start to wrap our heads around that, we've got to understand the huge fundamental shift we're talking about here. We're talking about moving away from systems led by people to systems governed entirely by code.
So think about it like this. On one side, you've got the world we all know, right? Human politicians, and it can get messy. You've got bureaucracy, slow decisions, maybe some shady backroom deals. But then, on the other side, you have this radical new idea: governance by code. Everything is out in the open. Rules are transparent, actions just happen automatically, and it's all driven by pure, cold logic.
So what's the big deal here? What's the promise of this new model? Let's really break down what a DAO is and figure out why so many people are so incredibly optimistic about it.
Okay, so what in the world is a DAO? It stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. That's a mouthful, I know. But basically, it's a community or an organization that runs on a set of rules that are coded directly onto a blockchain. And here's the kicker: no CEOs, no managers, no bureaucrats. The power is completely in the hands of the members.
So how does this actually work? Well, it's kind of simple when you break it down. First, the rules get written into code. These are called smart contracts. Now, the best way to think of a smart contract is like a super smart vending machine. Members vote on something, and if the proposal passes, the vending machine, the smart contract, just automatically executes the action. Boom, done. No middlemen, no arguing about what the rule meant. It just happens, and it's all recorded for everyone to see.
And this really gets to the heart of the utopian dream, right? People have called it democracy on steroids, or a digital Athens. I mean, imagine it. A modern version of ancient Athens where every single person has a direct vote, a real say in how things are run. It's an incredibly powerful vision.
But, okay, hold on. Before we all get carried away and start rewriting our constitutions in JavaScript, there is a massive counter-argument we have to look at. Because let's be honest, the real world, it's messy, it's chaotic, and it is totally unpredictable.
You know, the biggest selling point of a DAO is that it follows the rules perfectly, right? But what if that's also its greatest weakness? Because running a country, or even a city, isn't just about following a pre-written instruction manual.
It's about judgment. It's about all the gray areas, the nuance, the context. It's about making those impossible calls when something totally unexpected happens. You just can't program that stuff into an algorithm.
Just think about it for a second. A massive flood hits. A pandemic breaks out. In those moments, we need our leaders to act fast, to show some compassion. But can an algorithm do that? Can lines of code look at a crisis and feel a sense of urgency? Can it understand when a rule needs to be bent or even broken for the greater good?
This quote right here just nails the problem. Code doesn't feel empathy. It just executes. And that's it. It just does what it's told. It can't improvise. It can't feel anything. It definitely can't understand the messy, human side of a crisis.
Okay, so if a total replacement seems like a bad idea, because, that whole human element thing, what's the alternative? Well, this is where things get really interesting. We start talking about a hybrid model, a way to get the best of both worlds.
Yeah, maybe the real solution isn't to replace what we have, but to give it a massive upgrade. Think about it, a hybrid system that takes the human judgment and leadership we need from our current systems and bolts on the incredible transparency and efficiency of a DAO. So what would that actually look like? Well, imagine this: transparent taxes, where you can literally see where every single cent of your money goes. Elections where votes are tallied instantly and without any possibility of corruption. Budgets that are completely accountable with no room for those shady backroom deals. And what about on a local level? You could have residents voting directly on which park gets built or which roads get fixed. In this world, the DAO isn't the leader. It's more like a digital skeleton, a framework that keeps our leaders honest and accountable.
And hey, this isn't just some fantasy. We've actually seen hints of this power in the real world already.
We've seen groups of people use this DAO structure to get organized at, like, lightning speed.
So here's a great example. A DAO popped up to try and buy one of the last original copies of the US Constitution. And get this, they raised millions of dollars in just a few days. Now, okay, they didn't actually win the auction, but that's not the point. The point is they proved something huge. They proved that a crowd of people, totally decentralized, can get organized and make big moves way faster than a government ever could.
So where does that leave us? If these DAOs aren't going to be our new robot overlords, then what are they for? What's their real purpose in all this?
Well, the truth is, as much as we love the idea of decentralization, we're still human. We're just wired to crave leadership. We need those shared stories, those symbols, and yeah, even those imperfect leaders that we can rally around. An automated system just can't give us that feeling of we're all in this together.
But a DAO can be the engine for a kind of quiet revolution. Not a loud one with protests in the streets, but one that happens in lines of code. Code that's constantly whispering this really powerful idea, that power should belong to everyone, not just a handful of people. It becomes a tool for accountability, a way for us to reclaim a little piece of that power.
And that really brings us to the final big idea. Maybe the true destiny of this technology isn't to get rid of leaders. Maybe it's to build a world where our leaders are way more accountable to us. So maybe DAOs aren't here to rule us at all, but to just remind us of something really important, that we can rule ourselves.